The sky above the outpost burned with the colors of an oncoming storm. The colony world of Leora had known fear before, but never like this. The ground trembled every few breaths as the invading force advanced. Their machines rolled forward, leaving smoking trenches behind them. Every citizen could hear the rumbling, even from the inner shelters. It was a sound that reminded them of metal grinding over bones. No one spoke about it, but everyone understood what it meant. Leora had asked for help from the nearest allied civilizations. Messages were sent out. Pleas were carried through diplomatic channels. Records showed that allies often responded within hours. This time, days passed. Then more days. The invaders continued tightening their grip on the outer regions. Hope faded like a candle under cold wind. The colony council gathered in a room carved from pale stone. They argued in low voices, careful not to let the fear show. Myra, the lead coordinator, sat with her hands clasped so hard that her knuckles turned white. She kept checking the console display, waiting for any signal. There was none. "We must prepare the final defense line," she said. "If help were coming, it would be here by now." "I have sent the distress call again," said an elder council member. "There is still a chance that someone will answer." "From where?" another replied, shaking his head. "Our allies have their own wars. We are too far, too small, too poor in resources." Myra did not argue. She had thought the same thing in the quiet moments between alarms. Still, she could not bring herself to speak the words out loud. Not yet. At the border of the colony city, a young scout named Oren watched through binoculars as the invaders' machines positioned themselves for another push. Their armor glinted under the storm clouds. Their lines stretched farther than he could count. He pressed the transmit button. "They will break through soon," he reported. "We have maybe 1 hour." Mira heard the message. She felt something sink inside her chest. She dismissed the scout with a soft reply and turned to the others. "Bring the civilians into the deepest shelters," she ordered. "Prepare evacuation tunnels for the children." The council bowed their heads. A silent agreement passed between them. No one said the truth, but each knew what the coming hour meant. Across the city, families hurried into reinforced chambers built under the ground. Parents held tightly onto their children. Soft lights flickered above them. Even in the shelters, the sound of distant explosions reached them like faint drums. People rubbed their arms to calm the rising chill. Outside, Oren kept watching the invader army. He wondered if this would be the last sunrise he would ever see. The storm above gave the clouds a strange glow. For a moment, he thought he saw streaks of light moving inside them. He blinked. The shapes vanished. He steadied his binoculars again. Another rumble came, but this one was unfamiliar. It did not sound like the invader machines. It came from high above, like the sky itself had begun to tear. A council member rushed to Mira and pointed at the sky display. "Something is entering the atmosphere." Myra froze. "From which direction?" "From the outer orbit," he replied. "Not the invaders, and not any ally we recognize." A wind swept across the outpost. Clouds split. Bright streaks shot downward like burning spears. The citizens, watching from their shelters, gasped. Oren dropped his binoculars and stared upward with wide eyes. "What is that?" he whispered. The streaks grew larger. Then shapes emerged inside the flames. Dark, angular silhouettes. Their descent was too fast for any craft he knew. They fell with a purpose. They fell like warriors leaping from the heavens. Signals exploded across the colony's comm system. Unfamiliar codes, but the message was clear. Human forces inbound. Brace for impact. Myra's breath caught. Humans. From Earth. She had heard stories of Earth. Most were myths. Some said Earth was a struggling world recovering from old wars. Others said its people did not involve themselves in distant conflicts. No one knew the truth. Earth was far outside the normal cooperation routes. The colony had not even sent a message to Earth because they assumed it would never reach in time. Yet here they were. The sky roared as Earth's dropships cut through the atmosphere. Their hulls glowed red from friction. They opened mid-air like metallic flowers, releasing smaller units that streaked downward. The invaders saw them and shifted their attention upward. Their weapons pivoted. Sirens blared across their line. Orin watched as the first dropship slammed into the ground beyond the ridge. Dust shot into the air. A circular shockwave rippled outward, knocking several invader machines off balance. A giant hatch opened. Figures stepped out. They were humans, but not like the ones from old stories. They wore heavy exosuits that moved with smooth precision. Blue lights glowed across their armor. They advanced with disciplined formation. When they spoke, their voices carried a calm, controlled power. Ground units deployed. Shield barrier up. Begin push. The invaders fired. Blasts filled the field with white heat. But the human barrier shimmered and absorbed the impact. A second later, the humans returned fire. Their weapons shot beams that cut through armored plating like paper. A machine exploded into fragments. Another toppled onto its side, crushed by a single directed shot. Orin trembled. Not from fear, but from the awe of witnessing something that felt legendary. He grabbed his transmitter. Command. Humans are here. They are engaging the enemy. The council room erupted with gasps. Mira covered her mouth with her hands. She listened to the sounds of battle coming through the speakers. Each blast, each shout, each movement felt like a crack of hope splitting open the darkness. More dropships fell. Some deployed aerial drones that danced through the air like living sparks. Others dropped ground teams who landed with thunderous impact. The humans moved with a unity that shocked the invaders. Their lines stretched wider. Their shields grew brighter. Every step they took pushed the enemy backward. On the battlefield, one of the human squad leaders, a tall figure in reinforced armor, gestured his team forward. His voice was steady. Clear their flank. Protect the civilians. The squad surged ahead. Boots slammed into the earth. Their exosuits amplified each step. They leaped across ditches that would have taken minutes to climb. Their teamwork was flawless. One held up a shield generator. Another fired precise shots. A third scanned for vulnerabilities. Every unit acted like a part of a living storm. The invaders tried shifting strategy. They brought out their heavy cannons. Massive machines rolled forward, smoke billowing from their vents. These cannons had previously destroyed entire defense walls with a single blow. The humans did not retreat. They charged. Drones swarmed the cannons, weaving through their targeting systems. Human soldiers jumped onto the armor, plating, and planted pulse charges. A burst of white light erupted as the charges detonated. The cannons collapsed into burning metal dot inside the colony shelters. Families clung to each other. They heard the battle, but did not know the outcome. Some whispered prayers. Others sat in silent hope. A little girl in a blue jacket looked up at her mother. "Are we saved?" she asked. The mother gave a soft smile. "There are warriors up there. They came for us." Human reinforcements continued arriving. More streaks fell from the sky. Some units landed on rooftops. Others descended into valleys. Their coordination was perfect. They created a perimeter around the colony city. No invader machine could break through. Orin saw one human squad approaching his observation post. He ran toward them, waving. "You came. How did you get our signal?" The squad leader lifted his visor. His face was firm but kind. "We heard your call. It was faint, but it reached one of our listening networks near the frontier. Once we saw what you faced, we came as fast as we could. Orin stared at him. Even though we never met. Even though we had no treaties. The leader placed a hand on his shoulder. You called for help. That was enough. Orin felt a warmth rise in his chest. For the first time in weeks, he felt something close to safety. The humans pressed forward. Each engagement pushed the invaders farther. Losing ground, the invader command attempted retreat. Their machines turned. Their signals scattered. But the humans did not let them escape. Air units flew overhead. Dropships blocked the exit paths. The enemy was cornered. The final clash took place near a ridge of dark stone. The invader command unit stood there, a towering figure encased in heavy armor. It raised its weapon and fired a massive blast. The ground split. Rocks shattered. A human captain stepped forward. His armor bore deep scorch marks. His stance was unshaken. You will not reach the colony. The enemy roared. It charged. The captain stood strong. His shield unit powered up with a deep hum. The blast that followed sent dust flying. But the shield held. Behind him, his squad unleashed a barrage of coordinated shots. The invader command unit stumbled. A final shot struck its core. The machine fell with a loud crash. Silence rolled across the battlefield like a calming wind. The remaining invader units withdrew. Some shut down. Others fled into the distant wilderness. The war for Leora was over. The sun began to rise. Light crept across the land. Civilians emerged from shelters. When they saw the human soldiers standing guard around the city, many broke into relieved cries. Some hugged each other. Others simply stared at the warriors, who had arrived when all hope seemed lost. Mira stepped forward to greet the human commander. She bowed her head in deep respect. "You saved our world," she said. "We had no right to."